Hello, Lights Out Ace here. Gonna record another video for RNGEternal.com with a cool little TPJ Control deck I've been working on. So this deck is based on the big Cambrai base of Desert Marshal, Cambrai Healer, Night Chancellor Seraph, Sandstorm Titan Harshul as just sort of the best offensive and defensive cards at each point in the curve. And then that's sort of mashed into the old Stronghold's Visions Control shell, which has a couple of Excavates, an Elysian Trailblazer, and a Celestial Omen to kind of tie the combo together. So the way it works is you excavate and excavate to the top of your deck, and then give it Echo with Elysian Trailblazer. And from there you can loop Echoed Excavates forever, and give every spell in your deck Echo, and draw each one as many times as you want, give enough time. But I'm only playing 2 Excavates and 1 Celestial Omen because that's really the backup plan. Like, this is mostly a Cambrai-based control deck, and against other control decks, you save that second Excavate to pull off that combo. And then at the top of the curve, I have a Channel the Tempest. You could replace this with whatever you want. I just really like Channel the Tempest. And then you have your standard early game removal package, Lightning Storm, Vanquish, Eye of Winter, Scorpion Wasp. And a couple of secret pages help bridge the gap, so you can play turn 4 Harsh Rules or Stronghold's Visage. And also just fixes your power, which you need double time, double justice, quadruple primal. So it's not as good as the old secret pages, but it still does some good work. So we're going to jump into a few games here, show you how it plays. Alright, 9 of power, we redraw this. Alright, so this is kind of slow, like, our stuff is all coming into play depleted, but we have Lightning Storm, so I'm not really worried about getting rushed out here. And then Cambrai Healer is just the best blocking unit in the game. We do want to find a third power, though. Sure, Crown Watch Paladin, no big deal. Look to trade Desert Marshal for it. If they have Torch or Finest Hour, that'll take up their turn. Okay. Not a problem. Perhaps my follow-up Marshal will be able to trade with the unit. I'm just going to take the 2 for Lightning Storm here. No muss, no fuss. Plenty of blockers. It's annoying that they get a couple War Cries, but Cambrai Healer quite good at stopping that too. Getting a Primal here to work our way to 4 in case you draw that Channel, which should maybe just be a Sword of the Sky King. It also benefits from Stronghold's Visage. You always want to have at least 1 relic weapon in your deck with Stronghold's Visage, just in case you get up a ton of armor. Then you can kind of appropriate that armor onto the relic weapon. Okay, when they attack, I'm going to Desert Marshal silence that and double block, and then play Wisdom of the Elders. Well, I might as well play Wisdom now. I might draw Vanquish. Well, I did, so I can save that for a weapon, or I can just get rid of all their stuff right now. Just because it's a fast spell doesn't mean you need to play it on your opponent's turn. Sometimes you want to play it on your turn and look for your other slow speed plays. And they have another 4 for Valkyrie, so we can still run this Desert Marshal double block line. So against Rakano, I'm not going to hold this Trailblazer until I find the second Excavate or whatever. Like, the game just isn't going to go that long. I'm just going to play it for value. Anything that it hits is going to be great. It's either going to be a removal spell or a draw spell. Or I suppose it could be like a Seek Power, but even that's not the worst. This deck can use all of its extra power with Seraph. Sure, they break up the double block, but it's still a ground pounder that can't get through Cambrai Healer now. Alright, and given that they don't have any good attacks, I'm just going to play Staff of Stories. If they swing with both, I am going to block both, even though any trick will kill one of my units. Like, I don't really care about these units. I don't need these units to win the game. And yeah, I'm just gonna chump block here. A new card off the top of my deck is better than a vanilla 2/5. Alright, well, now there's a decision to make. Trailblazer, Wisdom. And I'm in a Wisdom. Alright, we found a Harsh Rule. Nice. Which means I will chump block with this Seraph. There goes my Aegis. Even if that last card is a Protect, we're still in okay shape here. But it is not wonderful. So they do not have... Ooh, I was just gonna say they don't have many Warcries stacked up. I was wrong. Okay, well, I think Seraph activations can probably beat a Silverwing Familiar. It's possible I should have Trailblazered and then next turn played Seraph plus activation. Likely a little loose on my part. The fact that Seraph depletes now means I can't keep attacking, which is kind of sad. Alright, so I'm basically taking 3 a turn from this thanks to my Stronghold's Visage, so I have quite a while to draw something. And there is something. Oh, baby. Explorer Emeritus? Sign me up. They don't have a torch or they would have used it already, so... Scorpion Wasp is going to do some good work. And I'm just going to chump this to preserve health. Down to 9 here. I am gaining 2 a turn, but I don't want to get punked out by another Deep Force Blade or something. Always activate Seraph before playing your power, the hit and empower guy. Unfortunately, I will not be able to double activate Seraph, which is kind of sad. I'm just going to give my next spell Echo now. Yep. Trade that. So now every turn I'm drawing 2 cards, making another thing. Don't actually want to play those due to my Explorer. Yeah, this game's over. That felt good. I like activating Seraph. I like casting Lightning Storm. Niv Mizzet. Uh-oh. We face the Fire Mind. Let's hope his Draco Genius is not too much for us. It's a reference to a magic card. Alright, on the draw, again, we don't have a basic Sigil. So our stuff's all depleted. But again, we have Lightning Storm into Combat Healer. Well, this deck does not play a lot of units, so I'm going to play that one first, since that's basically always going to be depleted. Well, our opponent's draw is slow. Okay. Yep. Primal. If you draw the Primal, we can Wisdom. And I could Lightning Storm right here, but I'm basically just only taking 2 damage, so I don't really care. If it was an Oni Ronin, I would do it just so he doesn't stack up Warcries. But I think this Lightning Storm will be able to get better use than killing a 2/1 later, and I think I will have time to do so. Didn't even attack. Afraid, perhaps, of Shimmering Combrae's Stormlynxes. Didn't want to get ambushed and eaten. So I'm benefiting from the fact that there's another deck that plays these same factions. That is somewhat troublesome. I can Desert Marshal it to make it more manageable, which I think I'll have to do. Hopefully I just draw power for this Harsh Rule. But I can't afford to just take 5 over and over again. Oh, attacking with everything. Very interesting. I'm still just going to double block here. Lightning Storm can clean this up, so even though I could eat it, I don't care too much. If I have Torch and finish this off, hopefully I draw power for Harsh Rule. Flame Blast. It's just an expensive torch. I am not going to excavate anything. I am okay with whatever's happening here. Okay, so now when they attack, I'm just going to Scorpion Wasp this 3/3. I have Excavate on Cumbre Healer if I get close to getting burned out, but I'm still at 18 here, so I'm relatively safe. I do play Island's Favor and Stronghold's Visage as well. Oof. Well, now you decide whether I want to Excavate Scorpion Wasp. And I'm going to be greedy for one more turn. Greed rewarded. Sorry, Niv Mizzet, it's a harsh world out there. Okay, I feel very good now. Umber Reaper defeats Lightning Storm. I have power up to Excavate and answer to anything he plays next. Desert Marshal for Umbran Reaper. Shadowline Sky. Interesting. Alright, well, we're just going to get Lightning Storm here. Get a clean 2 for 1. We are miles from casting this Channeling Tempest. Sword of the Sky King looking a lot better here. But Sword of the Sky King doesn't draw cards. Oof. The perils of playing a 3-faction deck. Alright, they just have more power in hand. Alright. That's a start. So if they have an Obliterator of Flame Blast here, they have to use it on this Titan. Alright, that's our third Primal. Just need one more. If that was sort of the Sky King, the game would just be over now. Like, I just smash him, gain a bunch of health. Okay, so if we want to be safe, we can Excavate Seek Power. If we want to be cool, we can Excavate Wisdom. Obliterate my face. Alright, so that to me reads like an Obliterate or a Flame Blast in hand. So I'm going to Excavate Cumbre Healer for maximum health gain here. And hopefully they can't burn us out from 14 in 2 turns. Could also have Excavate. gain 2 more health. Not that of this Flame Blast that they're obviously holding. Yep. Alright, well, the max channel punish. But that happens. Sometimes you don't put a clock on Stone Scar Burn fast enough and they burn you out from 20. Need a Stronghold's Visage in situations like that. It's an interesting deck our opponent had. It had Shadowlands Guide, which is really cool with Pyro Knight if you're playing enough power to ultimate Pyro Knight sometimes. Because then you can bring it back to 6-5, alternate again, and get a 10-9. Alright, I'm going to keep this even though it's slow, just because I have Seek Power, so I have all of the influence I need, and then I can just play Titan. Sandstorm Titan is good, and playing 2 copies of it usually wins you the game. Especially against Rakano, they don't have a whole lot of answers. Alright, so we have Double Justice, double times. We just need Primal. Play this in case we draw Wisdom of the Elders next turn. So now whatever 2-drop Dork they play, I'm just gonna trade with Desert Marshal. And then I'm gonna play a Sandstorm Titan. I'm gonna hold off on the Eye of Winter. I'll play that on 5 power at some point after these Titans. Like, this has endurance, so I can't even lock it down anyways. I don't know if he even torches to save this. Like, it's just a 1/1 now. I'm actually like not even gonna block it. I just don't care. I would trade this with one of the 2-drops. Well, I can't trade it with that. Hopefully they have fewer than 2 Vanquishes in hand, and one of these Titans. We can just ride to victory. Finest Hour and Torch also kill it. Torch is better for us because then it's a 2-for-1. Finest Hour is really, really good when you're trying to block, which basically every deck is. Like, there's not enough cheap removal to not play your own units against aggro. Yep, so we're gonna eat up whatever trick they have. This is fine. Titan again. I could have double blocked to play around Finest Hour a little more, I suppose. Nice. They just don't have anything. Okay, so I could Combre Healer, my 5/6, but even then I don't have great attacks. You can just like block with everything. I can just kill 2 things. So Lightning Storm is not the greatest here. So either Eye of Winter or a Combre Healer. And there's so many units out that Eye of Winter doesn't do a whole lot. So I'm just going to Combre Healer and put debuff on herself. Since I want to be able to block all these 2/2s, which Titan already can. Alright, take him to the skies. Well then, there's that. Which is probably just game. So I'm gonna Desert Marshal that end of turn, and then Harsh Rule. Take 4, it's fine, I'll go down to 23. If I don't draw the power for a couple turns, it's fine. Like, I'll just develop Eye of Winter, Vanquish if I miss again, and I'm getting down to 15 or so. Opponent kind of flooding out. Alright. Well, I can start locking it down with Eye of Winter. They have to play a weapon or they can't attack with anything else. Okay. We're just going to start playing the waiting game here. All of their attacks are bad. The board is stabilized. The longer the game goes, the more it favors us. That's a 6-5. We also have a 6-5. Once they draw a trick, they get to make a big alpha attack and deal some damage, but... Alright, I think it's time to harsh rule now. We no longer have a Titan to hold the ground. Alright, so now the board is completely clear. Opponent has one card in hand, which is probably a power. They would have played it. And we have an Eye of Winter in play and a whole bunch of card draw in our hand. I'm going to Wisdom instead of Omen, because don't know what I need yet. No power and all that. I guess on the bright side, my hand is 6 spells. Get an Aegis, get a Titan. And this game feels locked up. If they play a big thing and put a weapon on it, we can break the Aegis with Healer and then vanquish it. We also have Scorpion Wasp. Opponent has flooded out. I was just about to Celestial Omen for a CRF. Now I don't even have to. I lose the Healer because I pumped CRF, but now CRF doesn't die to anything, so no big deal. I might just Omen for power here. That's how far ahead we are. Okay, well, they concede before we can Omen for Combray Banner. The deck is feeling good so far, and it's exactly the type of thing I like to play, so I'm going to throw a couple more games down here. There's something about locking up a board and then activating CRF 10 times that makes me warm and fuzzy on the inside. So we'd have to seek for Primal in order to Island's favor, and then we're still missing a faction, so I'm going to redraw. Alright, looking good. A little power heavy, but has a Combray Healer and a Wisdom of the Elders, so we'll be able to survive until the late game and then draw a bunch of cards. Another Rakano deck. Kind of annoying that this is going to get a Warcry off, but what can you do? Oof. Never like to see Sword of Ikaria. Kind of need a follow-up unit, just in case there's a removal for this one, and then I draw CRF right on time, so feeling pretty good. If they have a removal spell or a combat trick, they're going to get in a couple more Warcries here, but that's okay. We can deal with large units. We have a lot of ways to. Harsh Rule, Vanquish, Scorpion Wasp. And this deck is kind of low on Vanquishes, like there's only 2, but that's because it's playing 3 Scorpion Wasps. Like, it's just way more prepared for large single units. Oh boy, now you get the Sandstorm Titan. This is great. Everything is just coming up aces. Just doing the standard Combre mid-range thing. You know, play a huge butted unit into a huge butted unit. Shove with everything. They need a Deep Forge Plate here, basically. Or Vanquish. Can't get ahead of myself. So it's 2 Warcries now. Or 3, actually, from the Sword of Ikaria. So we got options here. We can Wisdom, we can Seraph. And I'm just going to Seraph. I just want to play to the board. I could hold up this Desert Marshal. I have a power already. Yeah. Just going to do it. And no attacks here. I just don't think racing is worth it. This deck can establish the complete stabilization. Alright, I am very glad I held on to this Desert Marshal. Still 2 for 1, but still holding down the board. Okay, so do you want Trailblazer and give something Echo, or test our luck with Wisdom? I'm just going to Trailblazer. Even when not used for combo purposes, Trailblazer is a surprisingly solid card. Like, even if Excavate isn't my next spell, like, giving a Wisdom Echo is great. Giving a Seek Power Echo is less good, but it will let me get to Seraph. Or not, since Seraph is dead. Sword Torch, that's a lot of removal they've drawn. Though another reason that I played that first is just because it's more power efficient. Now I get to Wisdom towards that boosted spell. Hit an Excavate anyways. Oh, wow. So we don't really have a removal spell if all of these Warcries are on one giant unit. But we can start the Excavate loop if they don't have a Vanquish here. So far, Drake is pretty embarrassing against Sandstorm Titan. So if I attack, the double block. And give all their stuff flying or charge, which is less than good. So what could this be? Double Torch, double Finest Hour. I'm just gonna no-blocks it. Man, blind hitting Excavate was so good. I'm just gonna Excavate the Trailblazer now. On the block with. I'm not gonna proc this. Like, it seems like he wants to get into combat, so I'm not gonna get into combat. I'm going to excavate, and then excavate Desert Marshal. Should have maybe just gotten Desert Marshal first. This might have been the greedy play, but I'm so high in health. There's a cost using Excavate, though. Like, it does cost you your next draw step. So, yeah. I think I did do the loop wrong here. Oh, that's what he had. Okay. That makes a little more sense. So, do I want to draw a card? No. We're okay with what the board looks like now. We can afford to take damage for a turn. Although I really should have gotten Desert Marshal. Like, now I'm in the same spot as I was before. Only my opponent has drawn 3 extra cards. Well, now I can't really get Desert Marshal effectively. Do have a Wisdom in there. I'm just gonna take this damage. And attack and kill their weapon. Okay. That was the sort of stuff I needed. So I'm going to chump this 9/6 and then start making units to chump with while excavating. Man, that excavate mistake made this game a lot more complicated. Interesting. Alright, if they have a torch or something, then Seraph dies, but I'm oddly okay with that. So I'm going to do my next turn is I'm going to excavate, and then with the 2 excavates, okay, that's close to trade, so that's actually not bad at all. With the 2 excavates, I'm going to excavate Wisdom of the Elders and excavate. Or not, because I drew an Echoed Wisdom. Wow. That was really clutch. So I'm just going to play one of these first. Wow, the combo is just coming together without any input from me. I'm not needing to set up or anything. It's just my kind of day. Yep, they all get flying or charge now. That's okay. Man, I hope my opponent's having fun, because I really am. Alright, that's the opening we needed. This should be the game now. Alright, gotta go fast. Otherwise I'm gonna run out of time. Waiting on their block now. Vanquish. Excavate. And could draw them both now, or I could secret pages. I'll draw them both now. And turn. So now you can see we're just gaining absurd amounts of health every turn, drawing whatever card we want each turn. And if we ever didn't get an answer card, instead we could get Elysian Trailblazer and just start looping every single card in our deck. So I can draw as many copies as I want of any card. Sure. And I'm just gonna replay that Titan on my turn. Excavate, draw it, excavate Titan. That's actually going to be even faster. And we're just getting further and further out of range every turn. Yeah, hit me for 5. That is fine. Got for 10. Could vanquish this. Would rather excavate the channel. Kill him. Man, this one of combo is really pulling its weight here, even if I did kind of luck sack into it without any setup. But you can't draw it if it's not in your deck. And there we have it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this TPJ Control video. If drawing cards and killing all your opponent's stuff and doing silly loops like that is your thing, definitely give it a try. And I will see you next time. Lights Out Ace for RNG Eternal, signing out.